Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Where do you live today?
I live in Hammond, Indiana, but
You
I
live in
work
Hammond.
in Crown Point.
Nice. What situations in your home country pushed you to come to the United States?
I had just graduated from college there in my city. Is a university called Universidad de Guayaquil,
Hmm.
and I got my degree in marketing and advertising with a mention to be a teacher too.
Hmm.
So I was working as a teacher there, and I wanted to try the other part of my degree, my career, and that's when I decided to study English and come here, but to New York to study English. That's how I came to this country as a student, and once COVID started, I moved here to in the beginning in South Chicago Heights,
Chicago Heights.
and then I started Chicago Heights. And then I started looking for a job in around this area, and got my attention this school, Front Point Christian School, where I work today.
Cool. So,
Yep.
what brought you from New York to Chicago Heights?
Oh yeah. So my son's father, all his family is from this area,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's why we came here because then my mother-in-law offered us to live with her, so we
Oh,
were
nice.
living with her for a while. Uh-huh.
Very cool. How were you connected to the Welcome Network?
I actually was looking in Google Maps for an legal office.
Okay.
That was the first one I reached out, and Tony responded by the way. Very that was fast. So I started with my process with Tony by the way.
Nice. So, how did the Welcome Network practically help you with your journey of staying here?
I told them my story, and they gave me advice and what was the next step, and they helped me with my two processes. The one is the Form I-751, and the other one was the N-400.
So,
Yes, the two
for
of
people that don't know what those two things are, what are they?
the first one is when you green card has a condition when you get married and you start the process. You ask for a green card before you are married, before 2 years,
Okay.
and then the immigration office give you a green card, but with a condition that you have to renew it after 2 years. And that's I start my process in New York, but then because I was here and I had to renew it being here, and that's when the Welcome Network helped me. And the
Nice.
other one is you when you can apply for a citizenship, and
Okay.
that's what I did. Mhm.
Awesome. So, when did you get your citizenship?
I just got it
Woo!
September 24th. September 24th. Yeah, it was very excited. It was very emotional that day. We were almost 50 people from 27 countries, and I was the only one from Ecuador. And
Nice.
yeah, it was very nice. And after that, I had lunch with some friends, and it was a very excited day. Yeah.
Awesome. How did the Northwest Indiana community help you make this place your home?
It definitely was very different my experience here with New York because it's
Very
very
different
crowded over
places.
there, very
Yeah.
crazy and crowded. Yeah. So when I came here in the beginning, my plan was to go back to live in to New York. But then with my son, I say, I think this is a better area for us, especially for my son to grow up because it's safer than New York for sure.
Hmm.
And I found already a place where I can congregate every Sunday at church, and also a place to work where I can feel very stable. And they were very open, very kind, everybody. And I didn't feel sorry to say this, but the racist like I felt in New York.
Okay.
So I met more Christian people here, and that's why I decided to stay here.
Gotcha. So you teach at Crown Point Christian School?
Yeah, I started in 2021 as an
Okay.
assistant, a Spanish assistant. And then, by the way, I think after 2 months, I started working as a teacher, and I started as a social studies teacher in Spanish and also
Mhm.
Spanish language art,
Awesome. So
in middle school.
It's all Spanish courses for middle school students?
Yes. The difference is I teach some classes in Spanish for beginners that sometimes I had to talk in English, but very basic,
Mm-hmm.
only for some instructions, because there some students they are gonna start to learn some Spanish.
Mm.
But the other part is advanced Spanish.
Okay.
Kids that had the classes in Spanish since kindergarten. So they already know a lot of Spanish. So I talk with them all the time in Spanish.
Awesome. So we've already discussed this a little
Yeah.
bit. You became a citizen recently. What does citizenship personally mean to you?
Some parts in my journey here, I have to think about go back to my country, but because my son is a citizen here, it was kind of difficult not to be a citizen like him. So
Okay.
now it's like we are in the same side, so
Mm-hmm.
we both can stay or go to a different place. And that's something that I was waiting for a very long time. And the other part is to be close to my family, especially my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Now he can come here. I mean, I had to start the process for her, but is there a possibility for her to come here?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's two two things. And the other one that is important is to visit my family in Europe. I did last summer, but it was kind of difficult to get a visa to get there as an Ecuadorian. But
Mm-hmm.
now, as an American, I can just go and stay there as long as I want and come back anytime.
So you're from Ecuador, but you have family in Europe?
Yes, I have family in Austria, Denmark, and Spain.
Wow.
So I went there last summer for a month, and I was hoping to be there like longer, but I couldn't because my visa was only for 34 days as an
Mm-hmm.
Ecuadorian. But now, if I go next summer, I can stay the whole summer.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, last question. In your perspective, what is the critical importance of the Welcome Network and services like it?
First of all, they are helping people that really need it.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing this with a low cost. That is very important. It was for me when I start. And also the easy way to pay.
Mm-hmm.
And I a believer. I believe in God and Jesus, and I think they are doing what God command us to do. And Leviticus 19:33-34 says, "When a foreigner resides among you and your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner resident among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt, and I am the Lord your God." So I was one foreigner here, and the Welcome Network helped me during my process to be a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a lot of stories that some lawyers or offices say that they can help you, but they don't do it at the end. So being honest with people is a very important role they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
do you have any final comments that you would like to say to our volunteers or partners or our clients that we have?
I'm very thankful that you guys are doing what you're doing. Also, that is you guys are accessible, like people can find you and
Mhm.
start working with you. I'm very thankful.
Awesome. Thank you.
And you guys are very professionals and responsible. And I definitely can trust you all my information.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you very much.